Waiting is over. Racing season has finally arrived. Thousands of race fans ushered in a new year at Elko Speedway this past weekend, and they enjoyed a little of everything. The lucky, the unlucky, the fast, and the fastest. All the highlights from opening night, next on the Valvoline Elko Race Report.
More than 130 drivers showed up Saturday night for the 1996 opener at Elko Speedway. Picked up a few words of advice from promoter Bob Fredrickson and flagman Kenny Wallstead at the drivers' meeting, and off they went to get ready for the start of racing season. Hello, race fans. Wally Shaver and Ted Austad with you again this week, and it was finally good to get some laps under our belts. We had a perfect night, no bad weather, although it was a little bit nippy in the air. We still got the show in, though.
Yeah, I'll tell you, it might have been chilly weather, but the racing was extremely hot. I was very impressed by how the drivers, they came out to the track very well prepared to go into the season this year. The cars looked just awesome. A lot of new paint schematics out there, and the racing was absolutely fantastic.
Super show. We've got the late models and a wild late model race coming up next. Today's show is brought to you by Valvoline, the #1 choice of mechanics across the Midwest. By Budweiser. Race fans, this Bud's for you. By Tires Plus, low warehouse prices, fast world-class service. And Genzler Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning. For all your Lennox needs, call Genzler in Rosemount.
You want to know the secret to choosing a motor oil? You wait till the sun goes down. You take a ride to your local garage and then get a real close look at what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, more top mechanics in America choose Valvoline over any other brand. Valvoline can help keep cars on the road for 100, 200, 300,000 miles and more. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. People who know use Valvoline.
Kenny Bernstein is Budweiser King Top Fuel Dragster. Who says you need wings to fly?
Shake, rattle, and roll this Saturday night. It's high-speed, action-packed NASCAR auto racing excitement. The Thunder rolls every Saturday night at the Midwest Center for Speed, Elko Speedway. 4 exciting divisions: NASCAR late models, Sportsman, Thundercars, and Bombers. Elko Speedway is located just 10 minutes south of Burnsville on Interstate 35. Feel the thunder this Saturday night at Elko Speedway. For ticket information, call the Speedway at 461-RACE.
Strange as it may sound, folks, despite the cold weather, almost 4,000 fans showed up for the opening night of the 1996 racing season. All you had to do was dress warm, bring along a blanket, snuggle up, and keep that hot stuff coming out of the brand new concession stand, and you were all set for a night of fast NASCAR action. And fast they were. Steve Mergic was the 5th car out for the 6:30 time trials in the Mack Tools late model division, and he smashed the existing track speed record, dropping the mark into the 14.8 second range for the first time ever. 2 drivers later, Jeff Martin brought his championship car onto the asphalt and stunned everyone in the place with an even faster time of 14.844 seconds. Unbelievable! It was shaping up to be a heavy metal night.
Things didn't stop at the time, Charles Wally. 2 rookies in the division came away with heat race victories. In the first one, Dick Moeller blasted away from the pole and led all 10 laps. Moeller raced 4 late model events last season after capturing the Sportsman Division title in 1994. Race 2 saw the man who finished second in Sportsman points last season, Darrin, sprint away from the pole, and he won it easily. When the feature time rolled around, the boys with the high-priced toys put on a spectacular show. This race had it all, folks. Crashes, fire, and a door-to-door duel for the lead that lasted almost half the race. Ray Genzler in the white 05 car lined up on the pole for the 40-lap main event. He wasted no time securing a hold at the front of the 25-car field. After 10 laps, 6 cars pulled away from the rest as Dick Moeller, Steve Mergic, Mike Tuma, Mel Wallen, and Kevin Noodleman chased Genzler.
Trouble on lap 14. The white number 1 Ford of Barry Tanner banged into the number 2 ride of Tom Ryan, bringing out the first of 3 caution flags. Tanner was sent to the back of the pack for the restart. His nightmare evening continued 8 laps later when an oil line burst. Suddenly, the simmering fluid reached the flash point, and uh-oh, fire, fire. Well, a big turning point for the fastest car on the track, defending champion Jeff Martin in number 7. When all the cars had to declare a lane for the restart, the top 4 cars all wanted the inside groove. So Martin said, hey, the outside is fine with me, and he moved his dark blue Ford up to row 2. When the race returned to green, Steve Mergic in his number 3 Metro Molding Pontiac gained second, and by lap 25 was running door-to-door with teammate Ray Genzler. But hold on here. As these two were slugging it out, a major crash in turn 4, a half a lap behind the leaders, saw 5 cars come to a halt. Lots of damage as both Jason Schneider, number 11, and Tim Stanley in 69 left the place on the Merrick hook. Not exactly the way Stanley wanted to leave the race. Merrick's Towing is his new employer.
Okay, race fans, now watch this finish. Rapid Ray Genzler, leading from the start, lined up next to his buddy, Steve Mergic. Right behind them, Jeff Martin in number 7 and Mike Tuma in the black 82 Monte Carlo. Those were the 2 top drivers from a year ago. Genzler and Mergic traded leads of mere inches as they circled the track at speeds reaching 100 miles per hour. Mergic started from 7th and had been a constant threat from early in the race. He will be tough this year, especially since he is starting the season with his Trans Am body style and not the Chevrolet template he used for most of '95. What a race between the top 4. Tuma in 82 eventually eked past Martin with 5 laps left and told us that he felt he had the power to get past the leaders. Unfortunately, the leaders were running dead even. At the line, Ray Genzler had just enough on the last half lap to beat Steve Mergic to the line. What a race, race fans. A little crazy, but what a race. Wally had an opportunity to talk to Ray Genzler about this wild event in the motor pits following the main feature.
Well, first night out at Elko Speedway is like hockey weather here, and Ray Genzler's son does play hockey, but he's here watching the old man tonight. Good thing, because you got the big win.
Oh, it felt good. It's a good night.
First night out, very cold. We saw tremendous times in the time trials tonight. How does that work to the advantage of a car?
The cooler weather, the motors make real good power. We were a little off. We didn't get a chance to come out here and shake the car down. Our first laps were basically in warm-ups tonight, and by feature time we got it figured out, so it ran decent.
Now, you mentioned you did basically use the heat race and to fine-tune the car. Did you have a lot of adjustments going into the feature?
Yes, not a lot of major adjustments, just a lot of little things. We got a whole different setup on the car. We're working with different shocks, we're working with different springs, trying different stuff. These guys are fast, and if you don't stay ahead of them, you're not going to beat them.
Start to finish, you led the wave. You did have some challenge, though, from your teammate, Steve Mergic.
Steve is running good. Steve had a bad year last year. He is going to make up for it this year. If that was anybody else, it probably wouldn't have been a good race. But me and Steve ran a lot of laps together, and he's a guy you can trust to race with.
Not a bad way to start the year off for you, eh?
No, the sponsors are going to be tickled. I got to mention them. We have Metro Molding, we got First Chiropractic, we got Metalcraft and Master Electric, and I got them in the wrong order. But without their help, we wouldn't be here.
When you look at the way you start this year and define the adjustments you made between the heat race and the feature race, how do you feel going into next week then? Is there a lot more work you have to do?
We want it. They're chasing us right now. That's all I can say. No, we're real happy. We've got a few things we'll do this week, and we'll make it better.
First night out, Ray Genzler comes home the winner, and he's first in points.
Keeping our lives in alignment's a big challenge. Seems like we're always hitting those proverbial potholes. To get back into alignment, we need to prioritize and use our time wisely. Hi, I'm Tom Gigax. Speaking of alignment, when your car or truck hits a pothole, come to Tires Plus for a free alignment check. Just as you need to keep your life in alignment, keep your car or truck in alignment at Tires Plus.
No warehouse prices. Tires Plus. World-class service. Tires Plus.
I keep my home in top running condition, so I only buy the best.
For your cooling needs, call Genzler Plumbing and Heating, your independent Lennox dealer.
Imagine my surprise when I discovered air conditioners just 8 years old may not be as efficient as newer ones.
Genzler Plumbing and Heating can install a new Lennox unit for you.
So I replaced my old one with a new one from Lennox.
They can help cut cooling bills up to 40%.
Well, my home runs like a finely oiled machine. I've got more of these somewhere.
Lennox, 5,000 independent dealers, 100 years of service. One less thing to worry about.
With all the motor oils on the shelf, how do you know which one to choose? Some people even think they're all the same. Then why do you suppose one brand of motor oil is the #1 choice of America's top mechanics for use in their own cars and trucks? Which brand? Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. And for extra engine protection, try Valvoline DuraBlend Synthetic Blend Motor Oil.
The first event of the 6-race Telecom Gold Star Series took place this past Sunday down at Hawkeye Down Speedway in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. Kevin Noodleman led the field around for the beginning of the race, but it wasn't long before Iowa's Johnny Spaw stole the lead at the halfway point. Spaw won all but 3 feature events at the Downs in '95, but he did not race Mike Tuma in many of those events. This one, as you can see, he did, and he could not hold back the G&T Trucking Lumina of Tuma. Mike picked up the very first Telecom Gold Star Series feature with the next event scheduled for Elko Speedway on Monday, Memorial Day, May 27th. It'll be a 6 o'clock start time, but I'll tell you, Wally, I had an opportunity to go down to Cedar Rapids and see this first event. I'm really impressed, and I think this is going to take a good place of the NASCAR Northern Series. A lot of the top competitors from all over the region are going to compete in this Telecom Gold Star Series.
Yeah, if you remember, folks, the Northern Series comprised drivers from 4 tracks. This series using just 2, Hawkeye and Elko. Like you said, Ted, all 4 tracks are we sending drivers to this series, and I think that's really going to keep a high level of competition up.
Mark it on your calendars. May 27th, the Telecom Gold Star Series travels in for their first event at Elko Speedway.
Let's switch back to Elko Speedway and check out the Genzler Sportsman division. The Sportsman did lose a couple of good drivers to the late model ranks over the past couple of years, but it was evident last Saturday that there's plenty of good talent remaining and a lot of up-and-coming players that want to be a part of this field. Early heat race action saw Jeff Partington start the year off in style with a wire-to-wire win over the likes of Tom Boisvert and Rob Host. The second heat race was all bullet Bob Barfkinick. The new shoe for the Genzler Lennox Monte Carlo shot out to a huge lead, and by the time the field got loose, he was gone and under the checkers.
The 21-car field feature posted Wild Bill Rohde on the pole. He quickly jumped out to the lead with the outside pole sitter Brad Sanford sliding off the pace and leaving the door wide open for the Taylor Truck Line Chevrolet of Steve Anderson. Anderson, the defending class champion in the Sportsman, looked to go outside of Rohde, and filling the gap on the low side was the frantic trucking Chevy of Steve Croyer. Anderson challenged Rohde for quite a few laps before running side by side with Croyer in a great battle. Sporting a new color scheme in 1996, Wild Thing Lauren Schierick began his close on the lead pack, and not far off his bumper was the DRS Home Repair Ford Thunderbird of Rob Host. Number 60, Tom Boisvert, was not far off the pace, and Jeff Partington in the 32 Buick was beginning to make a charge.
A close call down the front straightaway as the Valley Sign Cadillac of Mike Skaya spun into the infield. But the only caution of the 25-lap main event was thrown in lap 21 for a spun Duane Hoffman. 4 laps remaining in the double file restart saw Steve Croyer move outside of Bill Rohde with Anderson and Host slipping into the second row. Croyer powers his ride past Rohde with only 1 lap left and cruised to the feature win ahead of Rohde, Anderson, Schierick, and Partington. Rob Holst fell back to 6th after a little contact with the number 95 car of Schierick. You must first finish to finish first, and all 21 competitors completed the first race for the Genzler Sportsman division. One caution and one winner. And here's a look at the top 10 finishers from the opening night of the Sportsman division.
Put 700 of the world's most powerful horses together, and what do you get? You get out of the way. The Budweiser Ken Schrader stock car. See you at the races.
You want to know the secret to choosing a motor oil? You wait till the sun goes down. You take a ride to your local garage, and then get a real close look at what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, more top mechanics in America choose Valvoline over any other brand. Valvoline can help keep cars on the road for 100, 200, 300,000 miles and more. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. People who know use Valvoline.
Shake, rattle, and roll this Saturday night. It's high-speed, action-packed NASCAR auto racing excitement. The Thunder rolls every Saturday night at the Midwest Center for Speed, Elko Speedway. 4 exciting divisions: NASCAR late models, Sportsman, Thundercars, and Bombers. Elko Speedway is located just 10 minutes south of Burnsville on Interstate 35. Feel the thunder this Saturday night at Elko Speedway. For ticket information, call the Speedway at 461-RACE.
Here's our top 10 reasons to shop Tires Plus. Number 10, we do windows. 9, all the top brands. 8, don't like them? Exchange them. 7, work fast. 6, mouths to feed. 5, we recycle. 4, 90 days, no payment. 3, best price guarantee. 2, will a line break and shock you. And our number 1 reason to shop Tires Plus, we're Minnesota-based and Minnesota nice. Low warehouse prices, fast, world-class service.
Tires Plus. The Tires Plus Thundercars has always been a favorite of the fans at Elko Speedway. Why? Because there's a lot of competition. Any number of drivers could win on any given night. You add to that the anticipation of the season opener, a good crop of rookies, and a new format for the division. And folks, you have the formula for very exciting, close, side-by-side racing. The Thunders opened with Shannon Erickson working past Jim Doherty for a heat win. Gord Mason started his season off with a steady flag-to-flag win over Jack Moo Moo Mays in heat number 2. Steve Keen put his great-looking number 19 ride into victory lane after heat race 3, but the 4th heat race for the Thundercars put the first chunk of video on our 1996 highlight reel. Randy Redding got together with number 56 Thad Sunsdall in turn 2, resulting in this rollover. Sunsdall was all right, but the Double Trouble Racing Team Chevrolet needed some serious work before this Saturday's racing cars.
Some serious work. After 2 last chance events were run, the field of 26 qualifiers was ready to roar. Pole sitter Mike Corbett did not have as much power as the number 20 FINA-sponsored Impala driven by Ed Charlton and relinquished the point during the first circuit. Corbett stayed close to Charlton with Jack Moo Moo Mays moving into the number 3 spot, followed by newcomer Doug LaFavor, Steve Keen, Gord Mason, and Marv Vincent. Mays moved past Corbett for second, leaving the yellow number 2 to fight for third with number 97, Marv Vincent. A bit further back was the 66 Bernatello's Pizza Chevrolet of Joe Pruzak. Pruzak won the first of 2 last chance events and started inside row 9. But by the halfway mark of the 20-lap main event, he found himself planted in the number 8 spot and charging fast.
Up front, Mays put the pressure on Charlton, but just could not overpower the leader. Vincent was able to motor past Corbett for 3rd place, and Pruzak made it all the way to 5th before the checkered flag fell over the field. The win will put Charlton atop the point standings going into this Saturday's action. So the final tally for the Tires Plus Thundercars feature looks like this. Charlton on top, followed by Moo Moo Mays, Marv Vincent, Mike Corbett, Joe Pruzak flying up through the field to finish in 5th place, with Jason Polzinski, Shannon Erickson, Sandy Van Dyne, Lawrence Genzler and Steve Keen rounding out your top 10.
Opening night brings out nervous tension in even the most seasoned drivers. But this past weekend, we caught up with 3 guys who are out here for the first time at Elko Speedway. One of them is Josh Vadnais, who does have some seat time up at Raceway Park, but he was making his first trip into Elko in the late model division.
It's a little bit different than the modified. You know, you run a little bit heavier car, so you got to run a little bit the track a little differently, but I think we're doing okay so far. You know, we'll see when the night's over. Nervous. You know, so many things are going through your head. You know, go fast. You know, you got to finish as good as you can, but also, you know, save the car, keep it in one piece. You got another race left to go. You know.
Duane Halverson and Darrin Giles are newcomers not only to the track, but to the sport.
Well, my dad's been supportive. He wants me to take it easy, not get into the wall too much too early. Just be patient, I guess, is the first thing that they're telling me.
I think I'll get over it once I'm on the track. It'll be neat. It'll be neat.
With all the motor oils on the shelf, how do you know which one to choose? Some people even think they're all the same. Then why do you suppose one brand of motor oil is the #1 choice of America's top mechanics for use in their own cars and trucks? Which brand? Valvoline. People who know use Valvoline. And for extra engine protection, try Valvoline DuraBlend Synthetic Blend Motor Oil.
Here's our top 10 reasons to shop Tires Plus. Number 10, weed 2 windows. 9, all the top brands. 8, don't like them? Exchange them. 7, work fast. 6, mouths to feed. 5, we recycle. 4, 90 days, no payment. 3, best price guarantee. 2, will a line break and shock you. And our #1 reason to shop Tires Plus, we're from around these parts and we're really nice. Low warehouse prices, fast, world-class service.
Tires Plus. Shake, rattle, and roll this Saturday night. It's high-speed, action-packed NASCAR auto racing excitement. The Thunder rolls every Saturday night at the Midwest Center for Speed, Elko Speedway. 4 exciting divisions: NASCAR late models, Sportsman, Thundercars, and Bombers. Elko Speedway is located just 10 minutes south of Burnsville on Interstate 35. Feel the thunder this Saturday night at Elko Speedway. For ticket information, call the Speedway at 461-RACE.
I keep my home in top running condition, so I only buy the best.
For your cooling needs, call Genzler Plumbing and Heating, your independent Lennox dealer.
Imagine my surprise when I discovered air conditioners just 8 years old may not be as efficient as newer ones.
Genzler Plumbing and Heating can install a new Lennox unit for you.
So I replaced my old one with a new one from Lennox.
They can help cut cooling bills up to 40%.
Well, my home runs like a finely oiled machine. I've got more of these somewhere.
Lennox, 5,000 independent dealers, 100 years of service. One less thing to worry about.
45 Bob 100 FM bombers showed up for opening night festivities at Elko Speedway, and race fans, there's only going to be more as the season goes along. They lined up for 4 heat races, and in the first one, Ken Pearson in car 37 held off a late race charge from Bob Rasmussen to win. Todd Quinnell led all the way, securing his first win of the 95 season in heat race number 2. Mike Chatterton battled Pat Kelly early on, then he cruised ahead to win his heat race. Tony the Tiger Holm of Prior Lake left the line in first and never looked back as he captured the 4th and final heat race of the night. The Bombers are divided into 2 classes again this year, but the feature race format has been altered slightly. The top drivers from the heat races will run in the main event, while the rest of the field will compete in the B feature. The B feature last Saturday night saw Mike Schmidt start from the pole, grabbed the early lead in the first turns, and it stayed that way for the entire 15-lap race. Dennis Barta in the yellow 03 captured second, while Ted Novak in the number 9 Chevy, Steve Marshall waged a side-by-side struggle all race long, deciding third. Novak won that battle.
Bomber main event. Lucky number 13, Dave Frantic Frantic, my preseason pick to win the division, sat on the pole. At the green, Franek kept the point. John Schmidt's second-place finisher last season in the white number 17 pulled away from Leon Doherty and began to crawl up alongside Franek. Meanwhile, Grant Wascott in the white. Grant was? Okay, we'll keep that in mind. Watch what happens here. He's in that white and orange number 60. And Jay Salmon in 66 both into the picture. Look at these bombers pull away from the remainder of that 22-car Class A field. These four continue to build on their lead as they each design plans for the conclusion of the race. John Schmitz in 17 pulled alongside of Franek, setting up a drag to the finish. While Scott and Salmon could only sit back and watch. Side by side on the final lap, and Dave Franek coolly kept his composure, and number 13 took the checkers first. Nice opening night for the Bombers.
Here's a look at the top 10 finish for the Bob 100 Bombers 8th feature race. There you see Dave Franek, Wally's pick, we'll give him that.
Okay.
Finishing in first, John Schmitz, last year's runner-up, finishing in the runner-up spot. Grant Wascott, my pick, finishing in third, followed by Jay Salmon and Tony the Tiger Holm. Leon Doherty, Daryl Bloom, Dan Weber, Mike Chatterton, and a rookie, Rick Martin, round out your top 10.
It was a wonderful opening night at Elko Speedway to kick off the 96 racing season. We certainly had a fun time out there, and I know this weekend is going to be warmer, for one. And number two, I'd like to pass on a little bit of advice for the late model drivers. Drive smarter, boys. It's pretty expensive equipment that was banged up out there last Saturday night, and hopefully we can reduce the toll.
Yeah, I think the drivers in the late model division might have been a little over anxious. Everybody wants to do well on opening night so that they can get the season off on a good foot. Just, you know, if they settle down a little bit, and I know that they will, and work on, they're a little bit rusty, long off season, they'll be all right. But I want to pass on my apology to Thad Sunstall. Is everybody knows that's been around Elko Speedway for the past few years that if I pick you in my preseason predictions, it's usually an omen. Well, I'm sorry, Thad, that I picked you, and sure enough, the omen and the jinx stuck to be true as Thad was involved in that rollover in the heat races. But I can't figure it out. I think it's kind of ironic that anybody that I pick, it's like disaster for him.
I think it was a towel.
I think that's what it was. But anyway, race fans, it's all starting again Saturday night. 6:30 is the time trials. Be sure you're there. You never know what's going to happen with these cooler temperatures. Creates more horsepower, and we could see a record broken again. The first green flag for the heat races falls at 7 o'clock. Wally and I will be there Saturday night. Maybe we'll see you at the races.